has your experience growing up in a farm-working family helped you relate more with the population you serve?
Oh, I think so. I lived with my grandmother until I was 4. My parents were in Tulare and Pixley. And then when I was 4, they went to Texas to pick me up, people I didn't know. They brought me here, and I picked cotton and grapes and lived in a vineyard in, it was either Tulare or Pixley. I know I went to school in Tulare, but I lived on Court Street, and every time I drive 99 I see Court, I'm tempted to go there, and I never have. We lived there until I was in the 2nd grade, I think, and then my parents were divorced, and I went back to Texas to live with my grandparents. So I think that what I bring is that I have lived that life, and I've been extremely poor, and I can relate to people who don't have the resources that other students at other colleges have. And so it's very important that we try to work with the bookstores so that you can rent books, because and try to make sure that students have access to the bond waivers, they're aware of them, and other financial aid, because those are all important things that helped me be successful. Without financial aid, I'd have never gotten through college. Because when I was 17, my mom had moved back to Texas with my grandparents, and she said, "Mia, you need to go to work for the state of Texas." I said, "Why?" She didn't want me to go to college. And I said, she said, "Because you have a retirement plan." 17, what did I know about a retirement plan? And now that I'm not 17, it's important. But back then, I said, I really want to go to college. My mom gave me $40. The night I graduated from high school, she gave me $40. She said, "Mia, this is all I have." I said, "I'll make it, Mom." And I did. I got 4 degrees. And I often wanted to tell her, you know, she died before I earned my last degree. I always want to say, "Mom, you got such a bargain with your $40, you got 4 degrees." But, you know, I know that we have students who are experiencing the same thing. Their parents can't help them. But that's my job, to try to help students be successful. And that's why I was willing to come back. Because I felt that I could make a difference. If ever I feel I can't make a difference, I won't be as higher up.
And so I wanted to ask another question. It seems like you had a lot of obstacles to overcome. How did you achieve what you have done since when you were a young child?
First of all, I always loved school. I always loved school. Wanted to be a teacher. Since I was in the 2nd grade in Tulare, I wanted to be a teacher because she took us to the library and I could read all these books. And somehow I could read, by the time I got to 1st grade, I could read and read all. This is true. I was in Texas and read all the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade books in the 1st grade. And the teacher finally told my mother, "I don't know what else I can give her." I loved reading, and I loved school, and she took us to the library, and I learned about other countries. I learned about, you know, people in other lands. It was amazing. And so I always wanted to learn more. And I think, oh God, obstacles. My motto is always, then you do what you have to do. And I remember when I grew up with 7 brothers and sisters, and I was the oldest girl. So I would have to go home from school, fix dinner for everyone, bathe my brothers and sisters, so my mom worked 2 jobs, and then I could study. And I remember one night she came home, and it was 10 o'clock, and I stood up. She said, "I'm going to go to bed." I said, "No, I had a math test tomorrow. I got to study." And at that time, phones were fairly new, and so at my house, you couldn't receive a phone call after 9 o'clock. My mother would literally answer the phone and say, "I'm sorry, Cynthia does not receive phone calls after 9 o'clock." So, by the time, you know, I fixed the dinner and I put the kids to bed, and then I had to study. I couldn't talk on the phone anyway. So I had to study, and I really, really enjoyed it. I love school. I still get to come to school every day. I don't say I go to work. I go to school.
Okay. What was your most memorable recognition that you have received, and what importance does it have in your life?
Personally or professionally?
Either.
Personally, it's seeing my children be accomplished young women, and one has 2 daughters and one has 2 sons, and they're all 4 and younger, and seeing them be accomplished professional women who are wonderful moms, because that showed that I made some difference. It's really funny. My 4-year-old granddaughter is literally a mini me. I mean, which my daughter hates. She says, "I'm raising my mother." But I have two very accomplished children. One is a cardiologist. She's doing cardiology fellowship at Yale. She's an MD and a PhD. The other one is assistant general counsel at CBS Television. She's an attorney. So I have a doctor and a lawyer, and they're both really nice people, nice women, and I like them, and they're great moms. They read to their kids. They take great care of them. So they're fun to be around. So personally, as a mother and a grandmother, I feel that that's my reward, to have great people in my family. Professionally, I think earning the doctorate was good because I was working full time and raising kids at the same time, teenagers at the same time. I went back to school at 42 to get a doctorate. So just getting that was an accomplishment for me. Awards and stuff, they kind of come and go. You got trophies and plaques and stuff, it's fine, but I think it's who you really are that's important.
Also, throughout your educational experience, was there a time when you were completely overwhelmed and found yourself on the brink of breaking your own? If so, what tactics did you use to overcome the doubt that you were having?
I think the day that I was working on my dissertation and my hard drive crashed and I had all my data. And I was up at 5 in the morning because I would try to work a little bit more, in the morning before I went to work that day, and my hard drive crashed. And I thought, oh my God. And I was trying to think, where do I have copies of the pages I'd written so far in my dissertation? And I called my best friend who was a librarian. I said, oh, my hard drive crashed. And she said, at that time, which computers had the cows? Gateway. Oh, yeah, Gateway. Okay. I called Gateway, and they actually helped me restore my hard drive. But I really thought, oh my God, I'm not going to do this. I was exhausted because I'd worked full time. I was vice president at the time, and I would go to class and I would study Monday through Thursday every night, and 6 hours on Saturday, and 6 hours on Sunday. And Friday night was my family night. I would crash on the sofa with my kids, I'm sure. But the day my hard drive crashed, I thought, I can't do this. But they walked me through it, and I got it right.
What tips for success do you have for young women trying to succeed in the educational world?
Don't put things off. Do a little bit every day. From the first day of class, it was great to go see people in the computer labs in the library and in tutoring. Start from the very beginning. Don't put things off. Do a little bit every day, and then you will stay on track. And you will be much more successful, and you will retain more because you're reading a little bit more every day, and you're adding to your knowledge base. So don't put things off. Do what you have to do, and it's pretty much whatever it takes to get you through. There were some courses that I just hated. I took statistics twice in graduate school because I just didn't get it. I took it in the School of Business, I didn't get it. I took it in the School of Education, and finally it began to make sense. And then I took it a third time, 3 one-credit classes. One on sampling, one on distribution, and I forgot the other one. But because it was just, I would say it was difficult. It was just, I needed to understand and I needed to relate it to what I was doing. So if something is difficult, break it up into chunks, into manageable chunks, and I think that's how you can be successful. God, I've told you my whole life story.
How did your family react to you taking an FCC position?
I think they were pleased. I think my husband was, yeah, I think you need to do that. When I've been able to go see him, he came up this weekend, and this morning he said, I'm going to clean your apartment. And I know he'll cook some meals for me, so I don't have to do anything. He was a little concerned about me being alone because he's always been there. My daughters were very pleased with me. It's a little difficult now because I don't have the time that I did to, I went up to Connecticut in February, which I'll never do again, it's so cold. But I got to see my grandsons for 2 weeks. And I literally wear long underwear all the time. It was so cold. It was 80 when I left Ontario Airport, and I got to Connecticut, it was 18. And it never went above freezing. And it snowed, and it was so cold, it was awful. So I don't get to do those types of things. And so we have to, because she's in a different time zone, we're very careful about, when I call her or when she calls me, plus she's a doctorate. So she has a tight schedule, and I have a very busy schedule. But we do try to talk 2 or 3 times a week. And Facebook is good for that. My grandson started kindergarten today. And so I got to see his pictures going to kindergarten, so that was good. But they're generally very supportive. My one sister in Texas wasn't happy because I could always go with her wherever she wanted to go. She'd come to Southern California because I have a daughter who works in television. We could go see television shows. We could do all kinds of things, you know, but no, I can't do that.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
Happy with whatever I choose to do. I'm happy.
Always what we want to hear.
Oh.
I think that pretty much concludes our questions for you. So it was nice having you in our office today.
Thank you very much. Enjoy it.
Thank you.